This whole nightmare makes my blood boil. The sheer audacity of this situation drives me utterly insane. Seeing what Baltimore put him through is infuriating. The man survived hell, only to wait 5 agonizing hours just to get a single glimpse of the franchise's top executive. The absolute disrespect shown toward a star of his caliber leaves a bitter taste. Right, guys? It feels entirely wrong. Welcome to Chapter 4 of this unbelievable defensive end drama. Unbelievably, this nightmare intensifies with every turn. The elite edge rusher just jumped onto his own show, spilling every single dirty secret regarding his chaotic trip to Maryland. No holding back, 5 brutal hours trapped inside headquarters with zero management in sight. The deadpan glare from rookie sideline boss Jesse Minter and the heartbreaking instant Eric DeCosta finally pulled him aside just to drop a devastating bombshell concerning his surgically repaired joint. The sheer panic setting in, dialing his primary physician in pure desperation, followed by a team official promising him 5 minutes later, "Relax, we are absolutely making this happen." Then his representative rings up to declare the deal completely dead. Here is the unvarnished truth directly from the source. Hearing his agonizing ordeal completely validates every single claim we made over our previous 3 breakdowns. However, another massive elephant remains in the room right now. With his explosive truth out there, what happens to his current market worth? Will a blockbuster move still materialize, or is he permanently locked down in Sin City? Let us dive deep. Microphone check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Welcome back, everyone. Here is the shocking sequence of events. Following Friday's blockbuster agreement, management tossed him on a premium flight into the nation's capital since no direct flights existed. Afterward, he endured a miserable 2-hour commute straight toward the squad's main training compound, meaning he spent over 7 exhausting hours on the road before stepping foot inside. His loved ones are tagging along, adrenaline is pumping, a glorious fresh start was unfolding. He was finally joining a legitimate title threat after squandering his prime years stuck in a dysfunctional desert franchise. He arrives at the complex, but the vibe is instantly toxic. For the initial 5 hours of his visit, the top executive is entirely ghosting him. Zero contact. The very mastermind who surrendered a pair of opening round draft choices could not even spare 5 seconds to welcome him. The defender confessed everything online. The top boss completely vanished. I genuinely expected a formal greeting upon my grand arrival. Instead, I sat abandoned for 5 ridiculous hours. No clue what happened, and I refused to guess. I literally questioned the receptionist, asking her directly, "Hey, where exactly is Eric hiding? I just wanted an introduction, right?" He orchestrated the blockbuster, but instead of celebrating with the brass who mortgaged their future, he wasted half the day surviving an intense physical gauntlet, enduring countless medical scans and evaluations targeting his healing joint, which is completely normal protocol during high-stakes acquisitions. Yet his tone suggested this trip was a calculated interrogation, purely centered on uncovering hidden bodily damage, rather than rolling out the red carpet for their superstar. Following the grueling exams, a random staffer finally escorts him upward to face fresh sideline leader Jesse Minter. Here is where the atmosphere turned incredibly toxic. I finish my obligations, and Joe randomly offers to bring me upstairs for a quick hello with the boss before my departure. I just wanted to pay my respects. I walked in, gave him a handshake, but the vibes were immediately hostile and completely weird. I shook his hand, and he stared right through me. Meanwhile, DeCosta was just lurking out in the adjacent corridor like a ghost. That exact second marked his very first glimpse of the executive. 5 hours deep, the pass rusher claimed his adrenaline was pumping so hard, he initially ignored the blazing red flags. Perhaps the coach just naturally lacked charisma, right? However, operating in hindsight, the front office had clearly already orchestrated a massive betrayal behind closed doors. Eventually, DeCosta pulls up a chair, and disaster strikes. He forces me onto the sofa, sighing heavily. "Look, brother, no easy way to break this, but our medical staff spotted some glaring red flags on your charts. They are terrified regarding your long-term durability. Blah, blah, blah. We desperately need you aboard, but right now, we are forced to hunt down several secondary evaluations before pulling the trigger." The defender was absolutely paralyzed with fear. His immediate panic was that his leg was genuinely destroyed, requiring massive reconstructive operations that could instantly vaporize his 2026 campaign. I was completely horrified, my mind racing through absolute worst-case scenarios. So how does our superstar react? He instantly dials the literal genius who fixed his leg, Dr. Neil Elatrate, arguably the single greatest orthopedic specialist walking the planet. The phenomenal doctor delivers an incredibly uplifting reality check. Neil rings me back, immediately talking me off the ledge. He screams at me to ignore their nonsense, swearing my joint is flawless. He literally breaks out the medical textbooks, proving my recovery timeline matches a textbook meniscus cleanup perfectly. He insisted my rehabilitation was completely on track. He ordered me to trust our process, absolutely guaranteeing my return before the summer practice sessions even kick off. The renowned surgeon pulled out hard scientific data, demonstrating beyond a shadow of a doubt that his cartilage was healing flawlessly for this specific phase of rehabilitation. Breathing a sigh of relief, he assumes, all right, they just need some secondary confirmation. This blockbuster transaction is absolutely surviving. We are crossing the finish line. Then the devastating betrayal happens. Baltimore personnel rang me saying, hey man, we are sorting the details out now. Relax, we are securing the bag. Exactly 5 minutes later, my representative CJ calls with the horrifying truth. They completely terminated the agreement. My entire body just froze solid. I was shouting in disbelief, pure rage, complete bewilderment, a massive emotional hurricane. And within seconds, the defensive titan was boarding a chartered jet straight back to Nevada. The blockbuster died instantly. That emotional 13-minute farewell montage he uploaded just morphed into a legendary internet cringe fest. Meanwhile, Maryland executives are frantically dialing Trey Hendrickson, attempting to gaslight the entire fan base into believing they always intended to drop $30 million on dual defensive weapons. Listen closely. If you followed our coverage since day one, his terrifying testimony flawlessly mirrors every single prediction we dropped. The front office was fully aware of his cartilage cleanup prior to negotiating. The news broke globally back in January, and his personal doctor declared his recovery ahead of schedule. Despite all that, management weaponized a routine physical one guaranteed to expose a joint nearly 9 weeks post-operation as a pathetic excuse to hoard the twin opening round picks they previously surrendered. Throw in the cowardly reality of DaCosta hiding in the shadows for 5 full hours. That exposes their true colors perfectly, my friends. Dropping a pair of first-round picks on a superstar? You welcome that man with open arms. Embrace the player. Show genuine desire. What you absolutely refuse to do is vanish for 5 agonizing hours, unleashing doctors to aggressively scrutinize a joint, just hunting for any escape clause. DaCosta's questionable actions during those crucial moments completely betray any true intention of finalizing this massive blockbuster deal. The general manager's subsequent statements raise massive red flags. Recently, he publicly claimed total heartbreak over the shattered agreement, labeling the outcome incredibly tragic. Yet, if true sorrow exists, why deliberately sabotage everything? Pulling the trigger remained entirely possible. Those physicians merely highlighted a joint issue the whole football world already completely understood. Embracing that danger was an option. Instead, they bolted, secured Trey Hendrickson 13 hours later, hoarded those twin premium draft selections, and miraculously emerged victorious on the fiscal side. Zero remorse echoes through those actions. It screams of a perfectly executed masterclass. The entire association totally agrees, with Diana Rossini labeling Baltimore's orchestrated maneuver as 100% pure deception. Questioning those clinical evaluations isn't blind pessimism. Critics aren't acting paranoid. This entire sinister catastrophe absolutely reeks. 100% pure treachery unfolding. Several rival managers are venting intense fury. Baltimore basically shattered any remaining faith among competing franchises with this disastrous stunt. Listening to the defensive anchor reveal his traumatic perspective makes the widespread outrage completely undeniable. This brings up the ultimate mystery. What does Maxx actually command on the open trading block following this unprecedented disaster? That rejected medical evaluation didn't merely humiliate Baltimore, it violently tanked the superstar's nationwide market appeal. The analytics confirmed this massive fall. Questioned regarding the rusher's current price, Adam Schefter delivered a brutally harsh truth. Should Las Vegas attempt a sudden transaction right now, experts suspect the ultimate return hovers around a devastating 80 cents on the dollar. 80 pennies for a 5-time legendary phenom. That is the sheer destruction caused by one disastrous health screening. It spawned immense paranoia regarding his durability that was utterly absent just 2 weeks prior. Despite the operating specialist swearing, the joint remains flawlessly intact. Jason La Canfora pushed this terrifying narrative even further, revealing the asset's plummeting worth and noting that, since passing a rigorous bodily exam remains improbable before late spring, all blockbuster negotiations have completely stalled out. Insiders completely abandoned any hope of Vegas securing 2 premium opening round selections for their marquee defender. Maximum compensation likely caps at 1 opening round ticket, plus a day 2 asset a package, terrifyingly identical to Dallas's initial proposal before the Ravens hijacked the bidding war. Now enters the horrific dilemma. Exercising patience guarantees absolutely nothing. La Canfora highlighted that even if the superstar dominates throughout 2026, his market price refuses to surge since he ages another 12 months while shedding a crucial contract year. The golden opportunity to extract peak capital likely slammed shut the exact second Baltimore cowardly retreated. This showcases the catastrophic wreckage caused by Maryland's franchise not merely tarnishing their internal prestige, but actively obliterating Vegas's chance at demanding equitable ransom for an absolute gridiron terrifying monster. However, whispers suggest a solitary organization still fiercely chases this ultimate fantasy. Jeremy Fowler confirmed the Windy City desperately monitors the situation, plotting a ruthless discount acquisition amid the wreckage. Chicago sniffed around multiple weeks back, yet refrained from launching an aggressive assault. Should they return armed with an opening round ticket plus a mid-level draft sweetener, might Sin City finally surrender? Potentially. Yet an explosive alternate reality gains massive momentum every single morning. Currently, elite whisperers unanimously project the most probable climax features, the dominant pass rusher simply remaining anchored right down in Sin City. Schefter delivered the brutal truth. The overwhelming favorite trajectory, and frankly, it isn't even competitive, cements the terrifying edge rusher firmly in silver and black for the 2026 campaign. Frankly, this dramatic plot twist is incredibly logical. Just deeply analyze the front office's viciously aggressive moves during the open market frenzy. They violently locked down Tyler Linderbaum, Kwity Paye, Quay Walker, Nakobe Dean, alongside Eric Stokes. They sit positioned to draft Fernando Mendoza first overall. Furthermore, explosive weapons like Brock Bowers and Ashton Jonty currently electrify their locker room. This aggressive juggernaut looks entirely unrecognizable from the pathetic squad that went 3-4 last season. Schefter aggressively emphasized this exact dramatic transformation. Assuming you truly bleed silver and black like you wildly claim, why abandon ship exactly as the front office pieces together a lethal championship puzzle? This roster generates unprecedented hype, vastly exceeding anything witnessed in modern history. The Star Destroyer personally appears heavily swayed towards staying anchored, especially following the catastrophic East Coast nightmare. He fiercely declared online, "The universe operates with intense purpose. Reject every floating rumor, and barely trust your own two eyes. I embody the pirate spirit. I've returned. Spark it up." Broadcasting via his personal show, he proclaimed, "Destiny actively blocked my Maryland arrival, period. Catch my drift? Bleeding silver is my absolute fate. It consumes my soul." Yet, should we seriously buy that an athlete who furiously requested out, publishing a dramatic 13-minute farewell, cinematic, miraculously found profound inner tranquility? Honestly, who knows? Pro football thrives on absolute chaos. Should Chicago or another predator launch a premium first-round strike before selection night, Vegas could easily execute the blockbuster. However, freezing this exact explosive timeline, it overwhelmingly appears the iconic edge menace will absolutely terrorize the trenches wearing black and silver during Week 1 of 2026. Should he return energized and healed, a defensive trench featuring him, Paye, Walker, alongside Dean, might actually become a genuine nightmare. Looking strictly through the veteran's eyes, he clearly entered the dark months, violently dreading yet another exhausting leadership overhaul. A brutally repetitive cycle he's already survived repeatedly. Tolerating another agonizing, seemingly endless reconstruction phase in the desert simply sounded like absolute mental torture. Personally, however, with legendary Tom Brady alongside John Spytek aggressively commanding the war room, my explosive confidence in this franchise has utterly skyrocketed. Securing Clint Kubiak feels like an absolute masterstroke hiring maneuver. Their financial deployment across this chaotic open market looks ruthlessly efficient. Granted, a handful of specific personnel targets raise immediate red flags. Overspending on both Dean and Walker felt highly unnecessary, yet those specific additions absolutely won't sabotage the vision. Furthermore, locking down Tyler Linderbaum will miraculously accelerate Fernando Mendoza's aggressive learning curve. We are staring down the barrel of potentially the most incredibly thrilling Sin City campaign since that magical era when Derek Carr dragged them into postseason warfare. Ultimately, keeping this generational destroyer locked within the desert miraculously emerges as a beautifully disguised triumph. Let's officially put a bow on this wildly dramatic, heart-stopping theatrical roller coaster. Baltimore secured Trey Hendrickson, hoarded draft capital, and won financially. Yet, their pristine standing across the league suffered a catastrophic, brutal blow. Las Vegas kissed those two initial round selections goodbye and crashed into unforeseen salary cap nightmares. Astonishingly, they kept a premier defensive titan while forging a dangerously revamped lethal squad to back him up. Meanwhile, Crosby endured a mind-bending psychological whirlwind, an absolute fever dream unparalleled in any modern offseason. Yet he emerged fiercely, declaring lifelong loyalty. I have never witnessed such staggering chaos. 4 deep dives within 2 weeks covering one single transaction, with every release exposing shocking, unseen secrets. From that initial pact, through a shattered medical exam, violently swerving toward Hendrickson, until Crosby unleashed Baltimore's darkest internal secrets on air, this absolute spectacle dominates the entire 2026 offseason. Should further earth-shattering shockwaves erupt like a blockbuster draft departure for Crosby, or an unstoppable championship crusade by Las Vegas, I will absolutely deliver every thrilling detail. Smash that subscribe button immediately. This platform's ruthless new system updates could permanently bury my future content away from your homepages. Beyond this madness, I am Mike, dropping the microphone here until our next thrilling release.